There is a question that has been asked to me very, very many times by different people. To buy or not to buy a home? If you want a house to live in and you're at the verge of making a decision whether to buy or not to buy, today we are going to look at advantages of home ownership and the disadvantages, because indeed there are disadvantages to home ownership. So we are going to look at these factors that you need to consider very deeply before you plunge in and make that decision whether to buy or to continue renting. Some of the advantages to home ownership will include that an investment in a home is a good and long-term investment. There are very few investments that you will put your money in that will give you the longevity to give to your children and to your grandchildren after that. A lot of people live with the fear that once I am gone, all the businesses I've built, all the money that I have put up will go with you. And so, in that case, then you can invest in a home. The other thing about a home is that it builds equity. As you continue paying for your property, the land value continues appreciating. And so, in most cases, your property value goes up. So it hedges you against inflation and it is equity. A lot of times, people making a decision to own a home, especially women, it's because it increases privacy. When you live in an apartment, you do not determine who moves in next door. You also don't determine how they were brought up and the kind of behavior they're going to bring along. If they come from a school of thought where they can just knock on your door and come for a chat or come for salt, then you cannot control that. And that is why when now you decide to own a home, you might need to have a home in your own compound, because that will increase your privacy. A home also gives you stability. If you're looking to stay in one place for a longer period of time, if you probably have children in school in a certain location and you do not want to be destabilized by getting a notice and you're told up and leave, then home ownership will give you that kind of stability until you're ready probably to upscale and buy another home or move to a different location. A home, especially in the region we live in, offers social security. We do not have very structured way of having social security, especially for people who are not employed. If you're in business and you want to ensure that your family has a place to live in when you're going through the ups and downs of your business, that social security can be afforded by a home. And one other thing is that a home also offers you collateral. A lot of families have a home as the single biggest, most expensive investment. As a result, you can take the title to the home to a bank and you get a loan that you can use in your business or to develop other properties for rental. Therefore, this ability to use a home as collateral also makes sure that you are not bound to tie down your money in that home for all your life. But there are also disadvantages to home ownership, because everything has two sides of the coin. One of the things that you must look at is whether you have the high upfront costs that you require when you're getting a home. You need to raise a deposit for you to pay so that you can probably borrow the rest of the money through a loan, or you need to raise the entire amount that you require to either buy a home or build. So you require a lot of money all in one go if you're going to own a home upfront, or you require to at least raise between 10 and 30% of the deposit, depending on which bank is going to be advancing you the rest of the money. Just like we said in the advantage that a home gives you stability, it also makes you immobile. You cannot just wake up one day and decide, I have a home in Nairobi and now I've gotten a job to Mombasa, up and leave. You have to consider what happens to your home when you do that. Therefore, this home, as much as it gives you stability, makes you immobile because you cannot have the flexibility to make any decision as you please. A home also has maintenance costs. When you're in a rental house, all you need is to call your landlord or your caretaker to tell them to come and fix something or to mow your lawn. If you have your own home and you need anything fixed, you get your checkbook and you write out a check. It means then that you have to factor these maintenance costs as part of what you'll be paying every month or periodically to make sure that your home retains its value and remains in a good aesthetic condition. A home also gives you lack of liquidity. Other investment options will make sure that you can access your money as and when you need it. But for a home, when you put it up in the market, depending on the market condition, it could remain in the market for 6 to 12 months. It means, therefore, that you cannot just get the money out of your home to do anything else that you want as and when you need it. So you have to consider this lack of liquidity before you put all that money in a home. We also have to consider that there are high interest on mortgages. I will do another video that will consider whether or not to buy on a mortgage, because this has also been an ongoing discussion and a lot of people have been interested in knowing whether or not to take a mortgage for home ownership. But mortgages, especially in Kenya, have a high cost. However, we will also look at the disadvantages and advantages, because there are indeed advantages and disadvantages also to a mortgage. So you want to consider the balancing of those interest rates and your incomes before you plunge in to buy a home on a mortgage. And then finally, sometimes there is a risk that property values may fall. While this is not your usual thing that happens, and the cycle of a property, just like the cycle of a lot of other investments, keep going up, there can be an intermittent period within which property values fall before they start rising up again. So if you had bought during the cycle just before the fall starts, you will start feeling cheated that you paid more than what is available in the market during that fall. However, if you're going for home ownership for the longevity, one thing that you need to know is that eventually the property value will go up, especially if the location was right. Please do me a favor. Email me on what you think about disadvantages and disadvantages of home ownership. And let me know whether you would like to start this journey to home ownership or real estate investment. This is Mary Mulwa. Keep it here for more tips on real estate investment.